Hi guys! Before we begin, as usual, all the necessary links, including store links, are in the video description, and you'll also find their description of my test system. So, about a year ago, I bought and made a review for a musical Fidelity A1 clone amplifier. It was cheap, it was Class A, it was instant love right from the start. But it was too weak to drive my Electrostats properly. So I've seen that there is another Class A musical fidelity clone amplifier called A1000. That's the one, that's the guy. I was reluctant to get one as I was afraid that it will not be able to drive my Ascents properly, same as the A1 amplifier. So the original musical fidelity A1000 was able to output 50 watts into 8 ohms load, and that was doubling with 4 ohms load up to 100 watts per channel. Original was produced until 1997, I think, from what I've found on the web, and the asking price then was about 500 British pounds. But that was almost 50 years ago, so that would be significantly higher in 2025. This clone amplifier will set you back something like $675, although if you'll use some coupons and the sale price, like it was a couple of days for the summer sale, you can lower that by at least $100. And the price that I gave you, $675, includes shipping. Now, when it comes to specifications, there is little info on the manufacturer page or on the offers that I found on AliExpress. Basically, the only numbers that are there is that it's able to output 50 watts into 8 ohms load per channel, so 50 watts for the left one and 50 watts for the right one. That it's pure Class A, and that the internal transformers are 350 watts each, because there are two of them, and we'll see that in a second. Another thing that's given in the specification is that its input impedance is 47 kilo ohms. Now, let's talk about the build and let's talk about the things that we can see on the outside. In the front of the amplifier, as you've seen in my first look video, we have a model number and we have a power switch that lights up in blue as a power on indicator, and we also have a company logo. I think it should be spelled something like Senhuan or Senjuan. I'm not sure about that. The logo is placed on a metal sticker, and I'm pretty sure that if you'd like to have the front plate clean and neat, you could be able to remove that with isopropyl or called another way, rubbing alcohol. Now, on the sides we have large heat sinks. We have some venting holes on the top of the amplifier, and in the back of the amplifier, on the back plate, we have one set of speaker tabs for right and left channel, and we have one set of RCA inputs for the right and left channel. In the middle we also have power socket connector and integrated fuse compartment. Now let's open it up. The top plate is, as usual, pretty thick. It's something like 2.5, maybe 3 millimeters thick, really solid. And let me move my camera so you'll be able to see the inside of the amplifier in a better way. Okay, so this is basically a dual mono amplifier because we have completely separate sections for the right channel and for the left channel. Each one of them uses separate transformer with metal shielding here. Each one of them is specified to be 350 watts, but I cannot confirm that without disassembling the whole amplifier and removing the shield. But I tend to believe that basing on the weight of the amplifier. The power cap section uses 4 caps rated for 10,000 microfarads each. These are Novartis capacitors. So we have 40,000 microfarads for right channel and for the left channel. There is a board with caps and rectifier, and on the bottom you can see, let's zoom in a little, a small board with speaker protections, with some relays and speaker protections. These relays are made by Songli, something like that. I'm not sure about the, let's try to, yeah, something like that. Let's zoom out. And that's basically it when it comes to the power section. I cannot see everything that's on those boards. This one and this one. I guess that there are speaker protections and relays because the actual speaker outputs are connected to the boards over there. So the main amplifier boards are visible from the top here, and each one of the channels uses 4 pairs of transistors MJ 1502 5G and MJ 1502 24G. Yeah. What else interesting we can see here? Some quite nice ceramic resistors and some German Wima capacitors, and we also can see 4 MKP, large MKP capacitors. Each one of them is rated for 1 microfarad. Interestingly, I've seen that you can get these boards as do-it-yourself kit on AliExpress, and on some of the do-it-yourself kits these capacitors are rated for 1.5 microfarads each. These are made by a company called Spirit. I'm not familiar with that brand. Let's zoom into one of them. Yeah, it's rated for 400 volts, and I think it's slightly larger than the space that was meant to be used by that cap, because the legs are bent underneath and then soldered to the board. As you can see, the soldering quality is okay-ish. I think I would do this better, and I'm sure a lot of you would also be better with soldering than it's visible here. That's some kind, so I don't know, some kind of paper or something like that. So anyway, Wima caps, and that's it. Let's zoom out. The cable looms are placed quite neatly in the middle of the amplifier, and the input-output signals are going through these black cables that are zip-tied to the PCB board, and the inputs are here for the left channel and here for the right channel. Can we see the outputs? Yeah, and we have output signals connectors here and here, but the cables are soldered from underneath the PCB. So that's it when it comes to the build of this amplifier. It's quite simple, I think. One of the things that may be a spoiler for the rest of the review is the fact that I've already ordered caps for replacements here. I've ordered Janssen Superior caps, which are also red, but this is pure coincidence. They should fit here. The thing is that if you take into account the placing of the top board, not the board, top plate, then you'll notice that there's not so much space above the board for larger capacitors. Actually, to be honest, I haven't checked the size on the Janssens, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they will fit here. So that's all about the build quality. Let's talk about the sound. I will leave it like that so you'll be able to take a look inside, and maybe while you'll be listening to me, you will see something interesting here. So let's start with the bass. I would say that Musical Fidelity A1000 Clone has a Class A bass. It's organic, it's slightly warm, it's detailed, it's not super fast and precise like with Class D amplifiers. It's perfectly fine even if it doesn't feel like an earthquake, but that's not what Class A is about. And what Class A is about? Let's talk about the mid-range. This is a real Class A and you can hear it. Vocals, instruments, everything has very natural organic timbre. There are tons of detail in strings and brass instruments, but there is one thing that you have to be aware of. With some speakers, and that's why I'll be replacing these caps, because I'm pretty sure these are the reason for that. With some speakers, not all of them, but with some speakers, some of the S sounds are hot. Not exactly sibilant, but hot. I don't know if you understand what's the difference, if you know what I mean. But basically, the sibilant sounds are not only S sounds. There's a whole bag of them. But in this particular case, with some of the speakers, S sounds, particular S sounds, will be hot with those selected speakers. For example, Martin Logan XT B100. These guys were hot. Big Outlaws, they were fine. Martin Logan Astens, they were fine. Lee Audio, they were fine. Icons, they were fine. But with XTB 100, the S sounds were hot. Okay. But basically, the mid-range here is absolutely excellent. That should be the one thing that you should remember from that part. Moving on to treble. Treble is, again, full of air and light. It's very open. It has great extension. It has great transparency. I love that kind of treble, full of sparkle, but at the same time smooth and non-fatiguing. And this is a trait for a good Class A amplifier. Treble here is right at the top with my best recommended amplifiers at the moment, regardless of the price. And this guy, keep that in mind, that the regular price, including shipping, is $675. And amplifiers that I'm talking right now, the top of my list, my recommended list amplifiers, are closer to $1,500, something like that. Okay, so moving to the detail. For that price, detail level left me with my jaw dropped. In Baba Yetu, you can clearly hear individual voices in choir, and that's important. You can hear raw, throaty quality of some of these voices. So you not only have excellent detail on the choir, hearing separate voices, but you can also hear the different voices, different tonality, different timbre in the voices. So that's something excellent. In my live recording test tracks, like for example Still Loving You by Scorpions from a concert in Athens, you can hear all the small talk in the audience. This is one of my favorite tracks to test that, because with right equipment, with right digital to analog converter, there is absolutely excellent separation, and you're hearing the voices from the audience in very precise locations all over the soundstage. And they are not blending together. With great resolution amplifiers, they will be separate and you'll be able to actually hear what the people in the audience were saying. Now, moving on to imaging. As I've learned, with great resolution usually comes great imaging. All these small cues and nuances are building great 3D image. And it's like that with A1000 amplifier. The soundstage is deep, it's very wide, and it's very tall. This is actually one of the best sound stages of all amplifiers that I've tested so far. It's very deep, it's very deep, it's very wide, it's very tall, with a lot of air between instruments, with very clear positions, with all sound sources, and excellent definition for all sound layers. You can clearly hear that the sound stage is layered, that there are things that are in the front of you, there are some things, some instruments, some sound sources that are in the middle, and there are some things, some instruments that are clearly in the back. You can also hear in those layers, within those layers, you can clearly hear that something is not only, for example, in the middle, but it's in the middle and on the left. So it's very precise, it's very transparent, and there's a lot of air between instruments, so we can clearly hear where was everyone standing when they were playing your track. So this is basically another area where this amplifier clearly punches way above its weight class. Now, with amplifier reviews, there's another section that's characteristic and typical only for these amplifier reviews. Basically, I'm checking how the amplifier behaves with my Martin Logan Ascent 1 Electrostats speakers. Now you can remember that as long as I loved, and I still love, Musical Fidelity A1 Clone, it was just not powerful enough to drive my electrostats properly. These electrostats are very difficult, 1.2 ohm load in the treble, so less powerful amplifiers, like for example Musical Fidelity A1 or most of the tube amplifiers, if not all of the tube amplifiers, are losing transparency and treble extension with my electrostats. The powerful amplifiers, the monsters that are able to output 200 or 300 watts per channel, are perfectly fine, and they are providing excellent transparency and excellent treble extension with electrostats. So anyway, I was worried about that, and I was worried that maybe there will be a possibility that the same problem as with smaller A1 will be visible here, because the small guy was, I think, 20 or 25 watts per channel, and this one is 50 watts per channel into 8 ohms. So yes, it's double the power output, but then again, as I said, the amplifiers that are perfectly fine for electrostats are usually in the range of 150 or more watts per channel, and this guy is 50 watts. So it's still not much compared to the power output of the monsters like T9.4 Burmester Clone. But I'm happy to report that there was absolutely no reason to be worried at all, and we are back in the game with A1000. It drives my electrostats properly, nicely scaling up, gaining even more resolution and 3D in soundstage. And to my surprise, all the hot S sounds were gone with electrostats, and the mid-range was very smooth. Still, A1000, it's not the bass king. The bass was full, but it wasn't earth-shaking, not blazingly fast. As I've said, the Class A is not about the bass. Don't get me wrong here, it was perfectly fine, even more than fine for that price. It just wasn't shaking the ground like more powerful amplifiers can. And this gets us to the summary. To my summary for the review and my summary for the sound quality of this amplifier. This is an excellent amplifier, and I really should have get it earlier. It's even better than Musical Fidelity A1 Clone, and many of you guys at this moment should be familiar with A1 because from what I've seen in the comments, many of you have bought that one, and it's quite popular, and for a reason. It's very cheap and it's very good, and this one is even better. It's more expensive, yes, but it's even better value overall, as it's still in the price bracket of, let's say, cheap amplifiers. So if you think about the price versus sound quality that this guy provides, then this is excellent choice and it definitely will crash my recommended amplifier list. That's for sure. I just need to think about the particular place on the list. It will be not probably in the lowest, cheapest amplifiers, but somewhere in the middle. I have to check that. But it will definitely crash my recommendation list. I love the detail, I love imaging, I love transparency and smoothness here. I love that it drives my electrostats and that it stands up to this task with excellent results. I was surprised because it was not only able to drive the electrostats, but it was also scaling up with them. So all in all, I highly recommend this amplifier because it sounds excellent, it has a very low price tag for what you're getting, and this results in one of the best value purchases that I've tested so far. I love this guy and I've spent quite a lot of wonderful evenings with it, basically more than I usually take for a review, and for me that was quite priceless. Usually for a review I require to have something like 3, 4, sometimes 5 days in a row to be able to give you a proper description for the sound qualities that any given amplifier provides. With this guy, I've spent something like 2 weeks since my first look video just listening for fun and pleasure. So, if you like this video, you're more than welcome to subscribe my channel and support my channel by buying me a beer using Super Thanks or my PayPal beer fund that you can find in the video description down below. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful weekend with your music. If you have any questions, if there will be anything important and new bits of information that I'll find or learn, I will update the video description. So be sure to take a look if there's anything that should be added more on top of the things that I've told you here. Thanks again, have a great weekend and see you next time, guys. Bye.